Alright, so for this video we are going to go over the dashboard. So this is the Chief Architect Premier dashboard for X15, and we're going to talk about what we're seeing here along with what the preferences window is so that you can see and you know exactly where to find it. So within this dashboard you can see that you're able to select new plan, new layout, new from template, and then open plans, along with being able to have recent files visible. You can also access this by going to File, Dashboard. This is something that I found that with X15 tends to actually stay up, and you can actually close it out versus in previous versions. Once you clicked on something, the dashboard then disappeared. So that's just something to be aware of. So you can see that some of my toolbar settings are popping up in the dashboard. However, what we're going to go over right now is preferences. So if you are brand new as well, you may want to see what this getting started is. There are training videos. You can download your catalogs here, but we'll also go over that in the next video for user interface. But for right now, let's go to edit and preferences. These are things that are more associated with how the software actually works and how you're able to visualize things. So for me, I like to keep these contextual menus off. What these are they're basically menus for your mouse. As you click, they will pop up next to your mouse rather than maybe using commands or using symbols. This is something that personally drives me completely nuts. And if you have it where it's showing up for you, all you have to do is again go to your preferences, which is edit preferences, and then uncheck contextual menus. A lot of the rest of this, I don't spend too much time. I haven't really changed significantly, so I don't really show, or I have no interest in showing my redraw time for the screen. Coordinates, I honestly don't even look at the status bar very often, if at all. Some of these things are honestly, I just don't touch. So you can see display menus, you can show icons, I would keep that on. Color is black and white. Dialog previews, I have it set to vector view, so rather than standard, this is going to minimize, especially if maybe your computer is very close to the recommended or is running slow to begin with. It takes a lot less for your computer to process a vector view. Child tool palette, I have that selected rather than the drop down. And then scale toolbar icons for high DPI. I would rather have them be smaller. And then these are the different side windows that I use, and I'll be able to show you those when we go through the toolbar settings and interface. These are different colors. If you are coming from taking a chief architect, like the actual company's classes, they may have had you change all of this. I don't do that. And the reason that I don't do that is A, I've gotten used to the standard, and B, I just don't think it's necessary. So I think it's easier if you get used to whatever the general appearance is, rather than trying to make the interface into something else. But if for some reason these are very difficult for you to see as we're working through them, you can come in and change this yourself. So it's the background, layout background, selection line, these sorts of things. They'll make more sense as we're working through that. Your library browser, I probably wouldn't include web results just because for your search, last thing you want is to have your library finding things. You can do filtering. This is actually something I probably would like to turn off. No, I do like to filter it. The new X15 has it where it does it kind of funny, but it's fine. Folders panel, rename behavior, so I do a single click selected item rather than double click. Show names in tile mode, and then I have it set up to standard for that. So you can also do vector if you want to. Text, I don't really do anything crazy with this, but you can see how your leader lines, you can do number of segments. Pattern editor, so this is a new item, the pattern editor. So this is just a visual for that. So we'll go over that when we're doing materials. File management. So in the very first video, we went over autosave and your archive folder. This is where you can set up that autosave and tell it that you want it to save every 5 minutes. File locking, what that's going to do here is it's going to make it so that if you have more than one person in a file, it will lock it down so that someone can't oversave someone else's work. So you can't have 2 people working in the same file at the same time. This is the recent file list, so that's what this is right here. You can show it or not. So if I were to clear recent, I can click yes, and you can see that they just disappeared. I can do thumbnail images, auto archive files, so I do want that, and you can select that either daily, hourly, or previous save. And then maximum files for the auto archive warning is 14. So you can see here, copy external reference material files to my data folder. So you can see that that is what is happening. If I were to uncheck that, then they wouldn't necessarily save somewhere. We can do associate files with this program. Whoops. And you can make it so that any new chief architect file, if you didn't select that, you can click on that and make sure that they're associated with chief architect X15. This is where I've gone in and I've decided where I want things saved. I don't generally change this too much, and that's just because I just don't want to go crazy with it. So I just pretty much keep things as the basics, and then I make sure to do file management on my end within my company folders. Ruby, I don't do anything with Ruby. If this is something, to me, if you want to get super advanced, this would be something that I would recommend talking to Renee Rabbit about. Renee is a chief architect guru, so he gets very into doing paths like this with Ruby. US, so these are the templates that I have set up, and I have them linking to it. Don't worry too much about this. We'll go over this and how to assign them. And then you can do open and save as using the last folder. That's what I like to do. And then copy designer information. So we'll go over what this means exactly. But what you can do is you can come in and put all of your information. I probably wouldn't do the client info, but I would do your information. You can add it in here. So as we're building title blocks, you can now have it so that by clicking that automatically syncs to everything. Unit conversions, so you can have it where no matter what you type in, so if you were to type in feet to inches or inches, this is how it works out. Time tracker, so a time tracker, it will automatically start it so you can track your time. It's a really handy tool. It'll stop if you've been idle for 5 minutes. So if maybe you stop using Chief and you jump in and start using another software and you've been busy for 5 minutes, it'll stop doing that. And then I have it set up so it will pop up and say that the timeout, that it stopped tracking it. So that's something to be aware of. And then you can add your name here so that it will add that to your time tracker. Walls. So you can see here I have this set up to show same wall type and handles. Stair sections move independently. Enable show room later, label automatic behavior when changing room types. And then I do want to have it where the skylights automatically generate ceiling holes. CAD. Again, I don't really change all of this too much. This is mostly just the general settings. But if you want to jump in more, you're more than welcome. You can actually come in if you know that most of your projects are going to be in a specific location. You can change your sun angle if you want to, but we can go into that more in depth later. Again, when it comes to these behaviors, I don't really change this too much. So snap properties, I do make sure that pretty much everything is snapped on here. Master list, again, I don't change that too much. And then ray tracing, number of cores used. So this is just how many cores are associated with your CPU and your graphics card. And then this is my graphics card. So this just gives you an idea of where your preferences are and what they are. So if you're trying to figure out, hey, why isn't something working? This might be a good place to check to start out. Again, if you have any questions, be sure to reach out to me through the Slack channel and let me know.